Tagad parunāsim par mūsdienu ēku ugunsdrošības sistēmām. Pašas ēkas kļūst arvien viedākas, modernākas, gudrākas. Jautājums, kas ir ar to ugunsdrošības sistēmām? Inovācijas ēku vadībā un stāsts būs par jaunajām iespējām, kuras tiek piedāvātas. Tā kā aicināsim uz skatuvi Schneider Electric globālo ugunsdrošības produktu vadītāju Nicolai Ryvers. Welcome, Nikolai! Jā, aplausos obligāti. And good luck.
Thank you. Welcome. It's great to be here, having the opportunity to spend this time with you, talking about how we can ignite innovation, finding new ways to unlock the value of fire safety data. Almost 2 decades ago, I joined a company called Schneider Electric as a quality assurance engineer. And at the time, this early in my career, I didn't know how much this role would impact my professional life. As a quality assurance engineer, you put yourself in the shoes of the customer, the user. You feel their experiences, but you also feel their pain when you test products and solutions. Today, I'm a global product manager responsible for software and integration. And today, I also put the customer at the core of everything that I do. Working at the world's most sustainable company, our purpose to make the most of our energy and resources, as well as our mission to be a trusted partner in sustainability and efficiency, equally puts the customer at the core of our business. So let's see how we can make this happen. I want to start to talk about a number of mega trends that we have observed in the world that is reshaping the world as we know it today and is impacting our business. The first is climate change. This is the biggest challenge our generation is facing. The world has around 8 billion people in the world today, out of which 3.6 billion people live in areas that has a high potential for climate hazards, such as heat waves, flooding, that can disrupt their daily life. But it can also disrupt business operations. The second is a shift in the global equilibrium. So what does this really mean? Well, we hear about trade wars, taxes, supply chain constraints, but cybersecurity is also becoming a big issue. We see an increase in different types of regulations, which is providing an increased demand for compliant solutions and services. The third one is digitization and AI, or the acceleration thereof. With the evolution of life cycle management, we're seeing unprecedented acceleration in this area. The fourth is energy transition. So due to climate change, we need to drastically reduce our carbon emissions. 70% of carbon emissions today can be eliminated with existing technologies. The last megatrend is the evolution of wealth. Here we're not talking about the evolution of individual wealth, rather the evolution of where we'll see growth in the future. Especially when it comes to new construction, as well as to first-time access to electrification and digital services. All these megatrends give us opportunity to innovate and do new things. So today I would like to deep dive into digitization AI to see how we can utilize this to create new innovative solutions that adds value both today and tomorrow. So everyone's talking about AI. We think is going to be bigger than the World Wide Web. Since the end of 2022, we've seen an explosion in generative AI, large language models like ChatGPT. The adoption rate of generative AI is unprecedented. Since it was introduced and launched, after 2 months, around 100 million users had used it. If we put this in comparison to when the World Wide Web was introduced, it took 7 years to reach the same amount of users. So innovation in AI will enable us to solve customer issues in new ways and in more efficient ways. But to unleash the power of AI, we need to have data from the ground up. It starts with device connectivity, IoT, Internet of Things, which has been around for a long time. But we see that this continues to grow and is projected that within this decade, the number of data sources will increase sixfold. Connectivity provides more data to drive productivity, efficiency, and sustainability. We see more and more how fire safety system connects their data to building management systems through third-party gateways or other external means. However, access to more data is simply not enough. We need to make sure that the data is secure, reliable, and also that the data availability is there all the time. So are we facing challenges where we can leverage digitization and AI to solve them? Of course we are. So one example is false alarms, which continue to challenge buildings owners as they are increasing year over year. They cause disruption in operation, they starve resources, you can get fines, and you can even have occupation fatigue or trust, which doesn't mean they listen to the false alarms. Cybersecurity data breaches are also increasing year over year, so this is something that building owners also need to be very cognizant about. Unwanted system access can be detrimental to a building's operation, but in worst case, it can jeopardize the total safety of the building and its occupants. A fire detection system must always be operational. In the case of an event, you need to provide notifications and audit trails so that we can notify the people in the building. The question at hand is, how can building owners leverage data to overcome these operational challenges? Well, the good thing is that the building market is undergoing a profound transformation. No longer are buildings standalone structures serving their purpose. They're now dynamic ecosystems using real-time data and advanced interoperable digital technologies to adapt for the challenging needs of businesses and occupants. Building owner needs a way to move their buildings into the future, making them more sustainable, more resilient, more efficient, and more people-centric. So starting with sustainable, approximately 50% of all buildings today will still be in operation by 2050. So retrofitting these buildings with modern solutions is critical to make sure that we preserve the value of these structures. Retrofitting not only reduces the operational carbon footprint of a building, but it also reduces the embodied carbon if this is prioritized over new construction. Deploying these solutions to existing building and new buildings can help align stakeholders and also provide a strong return of investment. Moving on to resilient. Buildings must be adaptable and resilient to meet the evolution needs of both building owners and building managers and occupants. Having a single hub to manage all these systems in a building enables us to be more resilient and providing our people to not having to be upskilled and trained in multiple systems over time. Having a single hub to operate the buildings that they have. Organizations also need an ecosystem for their buildings, which can capture data from all systems in an open and integrated way. Here we can leverage advanced software layers for continuous data collecting and analysis, which transforms valuable insights to actionable steps. Building owners need to meet occupant safety, comfort, and well-being requirements. At the same time, building managers need to ensure staff productivity to protect people, assets, and property with minimal disruption. So let's look at a real-life example where access to data has helped, and advanced technologies has helped support buildings becoming just more sustainable, more resilient, more efficient, and more people-centric. So Sitikon Lippulaiva is a new urban center with around 44,000 square meters of leasable space. They have over 100 restaurants, cafes, shops, and services, as well as public transportation. So they have a goal to become Europe's first energy self-sufficient and carbon-neutral city center, combining EcoStruxure building solution. They were able to achieve net zero. They were able to reduce 340,000 tons of carbon, and also to use 60% less energy than similar spaces in Finland. So what is EcoStruxure? Well, EcoStruxure is an open and interoperable IoT-enabled architecture and platform. It offers enhanced value around safety, efficiency, reliability, sustainability, connectivity for customers on a hybrid cloud on-prem solution. It leverages advancements within IoT, mobility, sensing, analysis, AI, and cybersecurity to deliver impact. It completes complete software for a digital twin across the 3 layers of connected products, edge control, software apps and analytics, along with software for customer lifecycle management. It serves as a digital backbone for 4 markets. We have EcoStruxure for building, EcoStruxure for data centers, industry, as well as infrastructure. Each of these markets has feature domain and segment-specific versions of this software, tailored to their needs. So by combining EcoStruxure software as a proven software together with a proven hardware platform, it enabled us to create new innovative solution for fire safety applications. With a future-ready hardware already in the market, we were able to provide existing customers the option to access this data and these new capabilities with a simple firmware upgrade. We call this new software solution for EcoStruxure Fire Operation. EcoStruxure Fire Operation delivers 5 key benefits. Firstly, situational awareness. Responding to alarms in a timely manner helps reduce risk, minimize disruption, and also avoid unwanted costs. Secondly, access to new software through a pure firmware upgrade. Ensure that you can capitalize on investment made. As I mentioned, entire install base on this platform access all this software by a simple firmware upgrade. The third benefit is probably the most important one. Rather than integrating the fire safety data into the building management system, we are repositioning fire detection at the core of the building management system, with a native architecture to manage multiple systems in a building. The fourth benefit is accessibility. Be able to use a single hub to manage different types of systems in a building, such as fire safety, access control, building automation, and emergency lighting, and more. The fifth benefit might be the most controversial one. Here we are shifting from a one-time license purchase to a subscription-based license model, ensuring that customer has access to new software and new capabilities all the time. A fire safety system continuously collects information that is important to different stakeholders at different times. Digitization allows us to unlock this data, or the value of this data, for the stakeholder at the right time, so they can spend time where it matters, when it matters. As I mentioned, situation awareness is key, improving the overall time to action, not only during an emergency, but also during daily operations. Having the ability to customize data visualizations, having trend logs, alarms, and reports, enable customers to adapt to persona-specific requirements, but also to building and conditions that may apply, which allows us to take control of the fire safety system. So let's see a few examples of how these built-in capabilities inside of the fire detection panel can be accessed through a web browser. Here we have leveraged the bricks ontology and added semantic tagging to our fire safety data. This contextualized the data in human-readable form, so we can see that we have an alarm initiating device, address number 12, located in meeting room B on the 5th floor. Trend logs can also be used to determine, visualize data and determine system behaviors. In this example, we have a custom trend log on a contamination value of a specific device during troubleshooting activities. Built-in dashboards can also be used to visualize data and system behaviors quickly and easily. Since these are built in, customers can now quickly use the widget to create these dashboards on the fly when they need it. Graphics is important, but different people want to see different data in their graphics. So in this case, we have the fire safety data contextualized as a building overview. We can see that there's a fire on one of the floors, or an alarm on one of the floors. We can then again take that data and contextualize this in the context of a floor plan. Or why not, if we need to understand the data in the context of how it actually looks on the fire panel that is not at where we are, we can access that also remotely. All these capabilities are built into the fire panel. As I mentioned, there's no additional hardware required. All you need is a web browser. So if we do a little recap, combining proven software and proven hardware provides customers with new ways to achieve outcomes that deliver value. Customers gain access to new and innovative capabilities through EcoStruxure fire operation, and it brings new life to the fire safety system. Also by improving visibility to the fire detection system during all aspects of its life cycle. With an out-of-box experience, together with the option to customize, the system based on customer needs has direct impact on usability, efficiency, and decision-making. Capitalize on investments already made and future investment by ensuring that security is built in by design and is not added as an afterthought. Be confident that your fire system supports custom needs today and tomorrow, where solutions can easily expand and grow as demands change without compromising operational efficiencies. So that's what I wanted to share today. I hope you thought it was interesting to see how we are leveraging existing software, existing hardware to drive innovation and actually unlock fire safety data as the core of the building management system. Thank you.
Thank you. Jautājumi, questions, please. Just put up your hand and a question. So how often are you doing any let's say, fire safety drills if needed? How often do you test these systems, and in what way?
So by code, you need to do tests on a quarterly basis, annually basis to ensure that the fire systems are working.
Yep.
There's also a lot of local regulations about what tests you need to do. So as a manufacturer, we provide guidance, but they need to be adapted to the local regulations.
Mm-hmm. All right. It depends on where they are used. I mean, by country?
Yes, but yeah, by country, exactly. But I mean, I think everybody in here has been the victim of a fire drill. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do to test the system, to make sure that they work.
What about availability of fire security, fire safety specialists? Because these systems seem quite exquisite.
Well, that's a big problem for our market. As I mentioned, the evolution of wealth is also about people. We have an aging population that takes a lot of that competency with them. So that is what we need, a lot of automation to help with that and training. And that's what I mentioned on resiliency, to have one single hub to manage these different systems, help with that as well.
All right. Any other questions, please? Then round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nikolai. Paldies!